the 17th because it's a weekend. So since Friday the 14th is going to be a sell date, the money will clear by Monday the 17th. So our purchase has to be the day before the ex dividend date. So that means that we're going to have to buy Chevron, and then after we sell Chevron, because it's going to take 24 hours for the money to clear using ETFs, we would then buy uh, DHT for the 21st, and then we sell that on Friday the 21st, where we will then have the ability to, I do believe, buy Johnson and Johnson. Now, I wanted to between now and then, I'm going to juggle whether or not we're going to go with Johnson and Johnson or if we're going to go to PSEC because PSEC is cheaper and pays out more money, if I remember correctly, versus Johnson and Johnson because Johnson and Johnson has a higher buy-in and a lower dividend distribution. So if we end up going with PSEC, we're just going to buy and hold PSEC, and that'll be it for the end of November because the 29th is a weekend. So PSEC would be picking up by the Tuesday the 25th, which will be the day after we sell, the next business day after we sell DHT, and the money will clear by Thursday the 28th, and we kind of won't have enough time to do much of anything else if we can buy on the 29th, on the 28th, Friday the 28th, so that we have it for the 29th, where we would then sell it on the first, and I'll let you guys know. But if it's not working in that direction, because we just had a holiday on Monday and we could not trade on Monday, that's going to be another issue when you're dealing with trades because you have to look at the trade holidays. Um, Beyond that, we're going to be doing next week, Tuesday, the last week of every month. We give you guys a dividend rotation strategy of the next 2 months so that you guys know what's going on. And then we start talking about more trading opportunities and other such things. So stay with me throughout the week. Monday, we talk about all the crap that's going on in the government. So you guys got to pay attention to that. And then on Wednesday, which is today, we talk about different countries to invest in. So while Monday we talk about things that interfere with your ability to make, save, and invest money, Wednesdays we talk about different countries, offshore trading, offshore investments, offshore living, offshore banking, so that you can explore your horizons, expand your horizons to improve putting your money in different places. Now, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we typically cover um, the ability to improve your personal life, personal development, uh, relationships, networking, socialization, standing on your non-negotiable expectations for behavior. We typically pull that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then Sunday is our questions and comments for the fans. So I thoroughly encourage you guys to take the opportunity whenever you have the moment to like and subscribe. Now, last week we had Beach Connoisseur who came into the show and he was talking to us about one of the islands in Fiji. I was talking about Fiji as a whole, and he was talking about a specific island that he lived at. So, in tribute to him, I told him that I would cover a bunch of other islands that we could actually invest in so that he could widen his horizons because a lot of times the neighborhood that you live in is like your whole world. When you follow a podcast like this one and I'm providing you with information around the world, it kind of broadens your horizons and sparks a lot of questions and gives you the capabilities to start asking, what about other places? And with that thought, I want to start by just telling you guys, like, forget Fiji. You know what I mean? Fiji is awesome. His country, his island is awesome. But in addition to that, you just gotta like forget Maldives because you're looking at what could be the smartest investments of the next decade. And almost nobody is talking about these yet. That's one of the reasons why I give you guys this information all over the place. If you feel like you missed the boat on the last travel boom, I get it. I get it. Uh, I've spent the last 6 months buried in a lot of marketing data, government reports, tourism trends, and all of this to find the next big wave. Uh, Carl, go to sleep. So if you're tired of hearing about missed opportunities, let's be honest. Places like Fiji are facing a saturated market. So while it is a good place to go, already established economy, you can invest in what exists and kind of get yours. Rare earth metals are undervalued. So that would, you can't really call that a bull. Rare earth metals are undervalued, but they're in high demand. So you can potentially get them a whole lot cheaper than gold and silver. And if you're not just rare earth metals, if you're thinking about the minerals and everything that they're utilizing for the electric batteries, cell phones, any type of technological advancements, any type of green energy stuff like copper and silver, especially silver is usually close to 10% the value of gold, but silver is used just as much, if not more than gold. Uh, so everybody's trying to hold on to it, but look at that. MP Materials. There's a ticker for you. So then you can invest in either the ETFs or the stock market related to MP materials. Think about this. When earlier this year, when Donald Trump had ruled that we were no longer going to be using paper straws and switched over to plastic straws, fact is, as insignificant as that was, all government agencies are required to use plastic now. Everybody else around those government agencies likely going to start using plastic now. So if you would have been investing in plastic companies, and earlier this year, I put up 3 or 4 different plastic stocks that y'all could have invested in before the boom. But throughout the year and as time goes on, plastic stocks are going to continue to increase because plastic is going to be producing more to the government, not right now during the shutdown, but after the shutdown, producing more to the government than paper, which means that right now during the shutdown, plastic stocks should have depleted, which means that now's a good time to buy in if you didn't buy in during the first wave. And that's what we do on this show. We give you guys heads up on things. So special shout out to what is it, Scott Dochman. What is that? Dochman? Scott Hotchman. Sorry about that, man. Scott Hotchman, 7510. Special shout out to Scott. See, I love educated people when they come onto the show and provide us additional information in addition to what we were already talking about. Carl, you need to pay attention to that because we need appropriate people in the podcast. But let's be honest, like I said before, since we're looking at places like Fiji, because today we're talking about a lot of islands that you can invest in, and these islands, the ones that I'm going to give you are less saturated than Fiji. But the secret is out because the crowds are going to these places, and the price tags are going to start showing that. Soaring demand and material costs are making properties ridiculously expensive in places like Fiji, and the explosion of growth that occurs from that uh, made early investors in Fiji a fortune back before Fiji was a thing. But that's pretty much over right now. Like you're gonna get whatever's left. You can find somebody who already made it and put your money down and get like 2, 3% off of their success. But that's not you getting a 200% return off of flying to Fiji and dropping your money down. But what if I told you that the next gold rush has happened? It's happening right now on islands that you've probably never even considered. And what if you could get on the ground floor of the next Fiji explosion? In tonight's show, I'm giving you 5 hidden gems with explosive growth potential that could make early investors richer than those who bought in Fiji a decade ago. So we're not just talking about pretty beaches with hot chicks and small bikinis or oiled down masculine dudes with big biceps. We're talking about hard data, smart government incentives, and huge infrastructure upgrades that are creating a perfect storm of investors. I'll break down exactly why each one is set to boom, what the opportunities are, and how you can get in on this incredible under the radar trend. And this is your second chance to get in early. So let's dive in. Our first stop is the island that's been hidden in plain sight, a place so raw and beautiful, it's nicknamed the Nature Island. Now, this isn't Ric Flair's island. This is the Nature Island of the Caribbean. This is Dominicana. For decades, Dominica's rugged mountains and lack of huge white sand beaches kept it off the mass tourist maps. Because, I mean, everybody wants to go and lay in the sand and look at the clear water. Not too many of us really want to hike up a mountain. Its tourism industry was seen as underdeveloped compared to a lot of its neighbors. But when used, what used to be a weakness is now its greatest strength. So, in a world hungry for authentic, eco friendly travel, and I'm going to tell y'all, this ecotourism, I think is so stupid, but so profitable because how are you going camping? Latchkey kids, when we went for places, we had a regular tent that some of us just had some sheets and some damn sticks and we made a tent. But everybody else went to the store and bought a tent and built your hut out there in the woods. These folks right now got 5-star resorts with hot tubs, jacuzzis, spas, saunas, full body massage, and they're calling that a camping trip. It's called ecotourism. And I've actually covered 5 or 6 countries, not just islands, countries that are doing this ecotourism thing. And I'm wondering to myself, like, why are you calling yourself camping in a hotel? Why are you camping? Because when you think about a resort, you're not thinking about 100 acres of woods. You think about a resort, you're thinking about a 10-story building with 700 rooms in it, valet drivers, chauffeurs. You're not that is not camping, but that's what they got it. So this eco-friendly travel is something that uh Dominica is perfectly positioned for. It successfully branded itself as a haven for the ecotourist. And the world is finally catching on to ecotourism. So, you know, guess what the dream is here? Imagine owning a piece of real life Jurassic Park without all them big ass dinosaurs. Think luxury eco villas tucked away in the rainforest, boutique wellness treated retreats powered by geothermal energy, or a private home with views of volcano peaks. That isn't about competing with mega resorts. It's about serving a high value traveler who pays a premium for privacy, sustainability, and a real connection to nature. But dreams alone don't make you rich. So let's look at a little bit of the numbers. The Dominican government isn't just hoping this happens, they're going to make it happen. The island's real estate market is set for huge surges in late 2025, going into 2026, thanks to a few key catalysts. First, they're pouring money into infrastructure, upgrading roads, utilities, and communications to make the island more accessible. A massive part of this is expanding the Douglas Charles Airport to handle large planes and reduce flight cancellations. Now, if you're looking to get in on something, you want to put some money on that airport. And this isn't a small tweak, it's a game changer. United Airlines one of our most favorite airlines in the United States, already adding more direct flights from the United States in 2025 to the Dominican, which is a huge vote of confidence for the Dominican to do this type of expansion. Second, tourism is exploding even during the government shutdown. Last year, visitor arrivals jumped almost 13%, and the projection for the 2024-2025 cruise season are unprecedented, with an expected 375,000 passengers. To handle this, the island is adding 500 new hotel rooms in 2025. That's a 25% increase in the entire hotel inventory. We're talking about major brands like Marriott and the Hilton, which attract a wealthier type of traveler in and of itself just based on the brand and lift the whole property market as a whole when doing this. This brings us to the why now, because the secret ingredient here is Dominica's citizenship by investment or CBI program. The government has created a direct path for investors to get citizenship just by buying approved real estate. And with new luxury, eco friendly projects popping up, investors are flocking to get both lucrative asset and powerful second passports. And why do this? I know a lot of people ask, well, why do this? If I already got one, why do I need another? Well, think about this. Coming from the United States, you cannot go to certain countries using your United States passport at their TSA. However, if you connect your flight to a neutral country and then use your second passport to commute to the other country, you're likely to get in and do what you were trying to accomplish. Now, passport uh, in the Dominican is not like getting a passport in the United States. In the United States, you only need like $235 with the express shipping. You get your passport inside of 8 weeks. Well, you can get it inside of like 3 or 4 weeks if you do the express processing. In Dominicana, though, to get that second passport, the minimum investment is just $200,000. And I say that like $200,000 is not a lot of fucking money. It's a lot of money. Way more affordable than in many other Caribbean nations, though. Plus, investors in this program don't have to pay the 10% license fee that other foreign buyers also have to do. So you can pay the $200,000 to buy the property and not have to pay the extra $20,000 license fee. This flood of CDI money creates a fantastic cycle because it funds national development like a brand new international airport set to be finished in late 2026, which then makes the island even more attractive, driving property values even higher. Rental yields are already averaging about 2 to 8% a year, and luxury ecotourism spots could hit about 10% a year. You can resell the property after just 3 years, giving you a clear exit strategy. And the tax situation is amazing because there's no capital gains or inheritance tax in the Dominica. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that if you are a dual citizen with the United States, that you still got to pay taxes in the United States or defer it, whatever. You don't have to pay twice. Wherever you're making your money from, that's all you got. But the country has become a leader in building things to uh, last a long time, which actually makes it a good thing because one of the things that I've done my research on is that while a solo individual person is required to report honestly all of their financials from all other places because individuals they have tax trade trees where individual finances is reported to the United States, so the IRS knows. But if you have an LLC or a C corporation, they don't report the financials from the LLC or the C corporation from another country to the United States. So if you've got an LLC or a C corporation that is over there in another country, foreign domestic, and it's generating all the revenue that it's generating, they have to deal with the taxation of that country. But whatever happens over there doesn't necessarily impact you as a personal individual in the United States. Now, the business still has to answer for what it does, but you can be separated from the double taxes. You personally can be separated from the double taxes. Now, new developments, especially the CBI approved ones, are built to withstand severe weather as the government aims to become the world's first climate resilient nation. It's hot as fuck over there already, so you know their AC is on blast. Now, for you, this means working with developers who use modern hurricane resistant designs, which we need to do in Louisiana. Uh, the real opportunity is going to come from the island still in its infancy as an investment spot because you're going to invest in construction because you're going to build roads. You're going to invest in power plants because you're going to provide electricity. You're going to invest in water treatment plants and water distribution centers so that you can provide uh, water to the areas that you're then going to develop properties in, which then you're going to invest in the small business owners that are going to pick up these properties, and then you're making money from all over the place. Those who get early and manage all of these risks are set up for the biggest reward before the market takes off. Now, our next island is a place where the air literally smells like nutmeg and cinnamon. We're talking about Grenada, the Spice Isle. For a long time, Grenada was a favorite spot for sailors and savvy travelers, but it was a pretty sleepy corner of the Caribbean, especially from the perspective of the investment world. That has changed big time recently. The dream of investing in Grenada is about owning a slice of authentic Caribbean charm that's been supercharged with modern style and incredible investor perks. We're talking about luxury beach fronts over here, beautiful villas, apartments overlooking most of the beautiful harbor in the Caribbean, and even student housing for the prestige St. George University, which is a built in rental market. Yeah. The Grenadian real estate market is seeing an unprecedented surge, but don't take my word for it. Let's follow the money. The data tells a great story. Grenada's economy is stable and growing, with tourism leading to the charge of financial success. In 2023, tourism made up 40% of the country's GDP, with over half a million visitors, a 25% jump from the year before. Hotel occupancy rates are projected to grow 15% a year. And this isn't a bubble phenomenon. Steady growth built on a solid foundation. So what's the why now for Grenada? Two words. Yet again, citizenship by investment. Just like the Dominica, Grenada's CBI program is pouring fuel on the fire of its real estate market. It lets investors get citizenship by buying government approved real estate with, in this situation, a minimum investment of $270,000. And after 5 years instead of 3 years, you can resell the property and get your capital back, all while enjoying rental income and the benefits of a Grenadian passport. That's pretty incredible. Grenadia's passport gets you visa free travel for over 140 of the 200 plus countries around the world, including the United Kingdom, European Union, and uniquely among Caribbeans CBI programs, you get to go to China too. But here's the real prize. Grenada has an E2 investor visa treaty with the United States. This allows Grenadian citizens to apply to live and run a business in the United States, something no other Caribbean CBI country can offer. This one perk makes Grenadian citizenship and the real estate that you get there incredibly valuable. The returns are already showing up. Annual property prices are appreciating by 2 to 4%, and that's before the full impact of new luxury projects is even felt. Rental yields are a healthy 3 to 5% annually, and the tax situation is just as sweet as the spice. Here we go again. No capital gains, no inheritance, or in this situation, foreign income tax. Think about it. There's very few opportunities to be taxed. So, what about the risk? Like its neighbors, Grenada is in the hurricane belt. That's a known fact, and modern construction standards are designed for those extreme levels of hurricane. But that also means you're spending a lot more money on development. The bigger risk for a new investor is navigating the CBI process. You have to work with reputable agents. The government does vet properties to protect investors, which helps. But for a smart investor, the combination of strong tourism growth, a world class CBI program, and that unique E2 visa advantage makes Grenada a calculated risk with the potential for amazing rewards. Now, forget what you think you know about Trinidad and Tobago, because that's what we're about to talk about next. We're zooming in on a smaller, quieter sister island of Tobago. For our third island, we're looking at a true ground floor opportunity. While Trinidad is the industrial heart of the nation, Tobago is the peaceful ecotourism paradise. It's been called one of the Caribbean's last untapped gems. The lifestyle here is all about quiet relaxation. It's a place, while having safe communities, has untouched beaches, and it's located below the main hurricane belt. Still liable to get hit by a few, but not nearly as much as the other two islands we talked about. This is a huge geographical plus. The investment dream here isn't flashy high rises. It's about boutique hotels that blend into the landscape, private villas for people who want to escape the crowds. And for years, Tobago's development was slower than its neighbors, but now the government is actively looking for investors to help shape it into a world class destination. And this is your chance to get in before the big money shows up. So let's look at the why now for these islands. The big story in Tobago is going to be the infrastructure. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has a major investment plan, and they're pushing for private investment and partnerships, P2Ps, especially for the huge projects to redevelop the capital city, Scarborough. There's a clear need to modernize the island and its infrastructure, from roads to utilities. And while that might sound like a challenge for an investor, it's a signal for massive opportunity. Right? Investing in a place that, just as it's about to get huge with government backed infrastructure overhauls, is a classic way to see impressive returns. Projects are already underway to upgrade the port of Scarborough, and they're planning a new fast ferry port. I don't know how fast you can get a ferry to port, but they're gonna make it faster. Maybe the ferry's not gonna stop moving and you're just gonna jump on as it spins the block. I don't know. On top of that, though, the government is offering incentives like tax holidays and import duty concessions to attract foreign money. The focus is all on sustainable development, though. They want investors in eco friendly real estate, think green building designs, and renewable energy. This approach ensures that as Tobago grows, it won't lose the charm that makes it special. The property market itself is showing interesting signs. 'Cause in Tobago, there's a high demand for a land and houses uh, requirement, but a mismatch occurs with what local banks are willing to finance, creating a gap that foreign investors can fill. So you could ideally grab the high demands for land or the houses because they can't cover the spread. This means prices are still affordable, especially compared to more developed markets. The strategy here is different. This isn't about flipping condos. It's a longer term play. It's about buying a land in strategic locations before the new infrastructure is built. It's about developing the boutique eco lodges the government is asking for. And the risk here is going to be your patience. Infrastructure projects can have delays, and the market isn't as fast moving as the place that we talk about, such as Grenada. But for those with the vision, the upside is going to be huge. You're buying into a destination with a clear government plan for growth, excuse me, and a real estate market that's still in its early days. So getting into Tobago now is like buying land on the edge of town right after they've announced a new highway, but before a single shovel has hit the ground. All right, we've hit three of the islands in a way that you guys would be able to benefit. And we've already uncovered some of the incredible opportunities. So if you're finding this valuable and you want to be in the first list of people to know about the next big investment hotspots, you guys got to do me a favor and hit the subscription button, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on the 6x9, or actually it's 9x16, it's probably going to be up the top. If you're looking at us from the 9x16. So if you're doing the vertical form, it should be up there. If you're doing the horizontal form, it should be right below the video. Make sure that you like and subscribe. And then after the show, hit the notification button, or off to the side, you hit that notification button so that it tells you uh, the next time that we come on, because we do deep dives like this every single day. And you don't want to miss out on the next thing we're going to talk about. Now, for the fourth out of five islands, we leave the Caribbean and head to the middle of the Atlantic. And we're going to a place Forbes called the Hawaii of Europe. So, welcome to Sao Miguel, the biggest island in the Portuguese Azores. For a long time, the Azores were one of Europe's best kept secrets. Well, the secret is getting out again. The dream here is to own a piece of European paradise without the French Riviera price tag. So imagine a renovated stone farmhouse with ocean views, or a modern apartment in the historic capital of Ponta Delgado. This is a place that combines dramatic volcanoes, the landscape, with a high quality of life, comparing it with the safety and the stability of being in the European Union. Far more safer than being in the United States. But once totally off the radar, the Azores are now on fire, metaphorically, and the data is pretty staggering towards their success. While property price growth in mainland Portugal has been slowing down, the Azores are heating up. The islands have seen property appreciations of as high as 7.5% year over year. But São Miguel is leading the pack with an incredible 9.3% growth. To put that into perspective, property values in the capital, Delgado, have jumped from about 1,800 euros per square meter to, and that's back in 2022, to 2,350 euros per square meter in 2025. That's a lot, because we got some properties in the United States that are like $175 per square foot. That's like 2,500, 2,800 US dollars. That's a lot of money per meter, square meter. But it's not just a small bump. It's a fundamental market reevaluation. So what's the why now here? It's a mix of booming demand and limited supply. People are discovering that islands beauty and realizing it's much more affordable than other West European hotspots. Foreigners have no restrictions on buying properties here, and you can still find rural homes for under 200,000 euros. Though the best coastal spots are now fetching an upward of 300,000 to 500,000 euros, you still can find you a decent place to stay. The Portuguese government is also investing 220 million euros into the island through 2027, signaling a long term commitment to growth. But the real opportunity for investors right now is the real estate rental market. Tourism is booming over there. Most islands, tourism is a thing. the short-term rental market on Sal Magul is seeing annual occupancy rates of about 70%, delivering gross yields of 6.5 to 7.2% in prime spots. Those are fantastic numbers for a stable European market. You can buy an apartment in the center of Ponta Delgado for around 1,900 euros per square meter and rent it out to a steady stream of tourists and digital nomads, which I've given you guys a lot of information about becoming a digital nomad. If you're making California US style money off your computer and you go to an island that costs 10% of the cost of California, but you're making $250,000, you probably spending 30,000 a year and you're sitting on another 220,000 a year of profit instead of living paycheck to paycheck in California. The opportunity is clear. Buy into a market with strong appreciation, add high rental income, and enjoy the stability of being in Portugal. You can invest in land, which is still more affordable than a new building, or find a traditional house to renovate. The main risk here, the secret is getting out faster than you know. Prices are climbing, and buildable land near city centers is getting harder to find. So, while it's still affordable compared to many other places, the window for the biggest gains right now, there can also be um, some administrative delays, but these windows are closing very quickly. Now, you will be able to see those delays that are interfering with the ability to buy properties as fast as you want it. So you're going to probably have to have a little bit of patience. But for investors looking for strong growth within the safety of the European Union, San Miguel offers a rare mix of explosive returns and long-term values. Now, for the last island, we're heading to the land of smiles. You just love smiley faces. To a place that offers a blueprint for that feature of island investment. So forget the party scenes of Phuket or Kon Samu. We're going to Koh Lanta. Haha! Koh Lanta has stayed a more peaceful, laid back alternative to its famous neighbors. It has the quietest uh, environment that you've ever heard that attracts a different kind of person, one looking for a slower, more sustainable lifestyle, that meditative monk lifestyle. The investment dreams here isn't about mass market tourism. It's about tapping into the powerful trends of responsible travel. So think again about that eco resorts with bamboo bungalows, luxury villas built with sustainable materials, or a wellness center focused on holistic health. Because we just found out that in addition to ecotourism, there is also eco medicine. What the heck? How the heck? Who is going on tour with their cancer research treatment? But they are coupling ecotourism with ecotourism healthcare stuff. And I'm sitting over here just jaw dropped. So y'all making luxury resorts for hospitals, for people on hospice and dialysis. Like, what's going on with this? But it's a booming thing. Tourists wanting luxury care on the go. Telling you. Now, this is an island where you can build a profitable business that is also good for the planet, and the market is just starting to wake up to its potential. So let's look at the data. The key here is that real estate prices in Koh Lanta are still very reasonable compared to other Thai markets, which gives you an attractive entry point. Now, foreign nationals can't own land directly in Thailand or in the Philippines, but There are well established legal ways to invest, like long term leaseholders for 50 to 125 years, or setting up a Thai company. This is going to be complicated because when you set up a Thai company, you might have to go into a partnership where the native person has 60% of authority over the company. It works if you start up a business with your partner and your partner is a native. So if you're dating or marrying somebody from the Thai culture who's native, and you start up a business with them, and they have 60% control, at least while the marriage is positive, you've got a good business partner. And if you're making more money with them than what they would have made without you, then they should, if you treat them right, back that up for the remainder of your life, and then you can just will the business to your kids. But the easiest path to owning a condo, where foreigners can own up to 49% of it, and that's going to be of the units in any project. So let's say you have 100 units, they can own 49% of the project, which means you can own 49 of the 100 units. There's 10 units, you can only own four. You can't own five because it's 49%. So what's the why now for Koh Lanta? This is where global trends and local development meet. The demand for eco-friendly design and the sustainable properties is growing worldwide, and Koh Lanta is perfectly set up to capture this market. Tourism is shifting towards eco-conscious travel, which directly increases the value of properties that fit that idea. The investment opportunities here are clear. The most lucrative path is developing eco resorts and sustainable villas. You can still find land for sale at a good price, especially away from the main beachfront areas. Areas to watch would be including the popular Long Beach area. That's a very beautiful spot to go to, and a quieter spot like Klong Nine, or an exclusive Cantiga Bay, which offers stunning views. Even the historic old town is being talked about as a spot with huge potential. So you can also invest in new condo developments that often come with rental management programs, offering a hands-off way to generate income, because you don't have to do all the work. You just got to put up the money so that your money can make money for you, which is what we strive to do. The risk here is going to be a little bit different. The main one is navigating Thailand's property laws. That's going to be like the biggest risk there. It is essential to work with a good local lawyer to make sure your investment is set up correctly and securely. Another thing to think about is the infrastructure in more remote areas, because you need to check on the reliability of water, internet, and road access. So, if you invest in the water development, the internet development, and the construction that is working on the roads, you can maximize your location and benefit from the development. But for the forward thinking investor, Kolanta is a chance to get ahead of the curve. The future of travel is sustainable, and this island is building its identity around that. By investing here, you're not just buying property, you're buying into a philosophy that's about to become a powerful driver of value in the global tourism market. So there you have it. Five very different islands, five incredible opportunities, from the eco paradise of Dominica and the spice shores of Grenada to the quiet potential of Tobago, the European polish of the Azores, and the sustainable frontier of Koh Lanta. As you can see, amazing investment opportunities are still out there if you're willing to look beyond the headlines. The story of Fiji was about being in the right place at the right time. That story is happening again today, but the names of the places have changed. These five islands are the new frontier. They offer a second chance to get in on the ground floor and build not only wealth, but a lifestyle other people can only dream of. The question here is, are you ready to be one of those pioneers? Which one of the islands caught your attention most? Let me know in the comment section. I read every single one of your comments, and I'd love to hear what you think. And as I thank you guys for coming to the show, I put together some detailed information in the membership that gives you a lot of reports on all five of the islands. It has deeper market analysis and key economic indicators, and even contacts for trusted local real estate experts in each spot. And if you want some of that information, you can by all means send me a message because the information is completely free. If you want any information related to the Hidden Gems investment reports, make sure that you guys jump into the membership and then we'll talk about it. Now, make sure that you guys get out there and build your own empires. And before we walk out, I want to make sure that you know, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So, ladies, please make it make sense. And, fellas, I provide y'all with this information to aid y'all in becoming higher value men. And, ladies, while this is a male driven podcast from the male's perspective, you do not need to be a man to benefit from this information. You ladies can take this and make yourselves higher value women as well. If you're proactively working towards the things that you can control to improve your life, then you can utilize the rest of your efforts to navigate around the things that you cannot control. After you have improved the things inside of your control, you should be more satisfied with the life that you live. But if you are living anything that you could think about in your life that you wish was different, you identify what about that you can change and what about that you can deal with and make some changes in your life. As we creep into 2026, it's not about creating New Year's resolutions. It's about performing effective action. The things that you used to do that wasn't working in 24, you should have stopped doing in 25. And the things that you plan on doing in 26 are going to be more effective and more beneficial than what you did in 25. You should not continue with more of the same. If it wasn't working for you back in the day and it wasn't working for you yesterday, you shouldn't be doing it today and you shouldn't be planning on doing it tomorrow. You have to make change because the only way that you can grow and improve is if you make change. And change is volatile, change is tough, but it requires effort. And here on This and That, that's all we do is look for another way to apply effort. So, tomorrow we got some very good information coming up. We got some relationship topics we're going to be talking about. And with this dual version that we've got going on, you guys are going to see a lot more of us in a lot more places. So I want to make sure that you guys take the opportunity to like and subscribe. I want to thank you guys for coming to tonight's show. We're going to try our best to start on time tomorrow. We typically start at about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is about 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. But sometimes we're about 10, 15 minutes late. So I want to make sure that you guys swing by and see what we got set up for you. I want to thank you for coming to tonight's show. Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Chase validation, now I validate.
That's my personal command.